Welcome to the Stress Outlet. My name is Dr. Kimberly Quinn, and look who's back. Yay. Okay, so we've been talking about the self-value thing, and I can't talk about this enough, because as you think my whole mission in life is to spread as much positivity around the world as I possibly can, as my little grain of sand on a beach that I am and we all are, right? To really help people live the highest versions of themselves, to really kind of be a vehicle for channeling that. And so that involves being able to see our own value, which can be challenging as a grown-up if that wasn't mirrored for you as a child, because that's how we learn our value early on, is by watching other people respond to us. I mean, that's kind of how we find out figure out what our strengths are early on, figure out all the nice things about us early on when it's mirrored for us, right? So if that hasn't happened, that just means we have a little bit more work to do. I personally like to look at it positively as kind of like an archeological dig, or like a treasure hunt or something. I almost said pirates. I mean, I find pirates enormously interesting. Little segue there, but I don't really want to glorify, romanticize pirates, as interesting as they were, because they were rapists and murderers. That's really not what I want to draw into the conversation. So we'll just say a treasure hunt, archaeological dig, because it is, at least for me, at a sensational 60, it's loads of fun to figure out why I am how I am, in a good way, not with blame and all that. Sometimes you have to kind of go through that to come out to the other end. But if you can keep that segment as short as possible, it's better, because blame and shame just don't go anywhere good. They just stunt growth and get in the way of our happiness and everything else. So value. We're talking about faith here, because the opposite of faith is fear. I'm not saying if you're not religious, you don't need to be religious or at all. If you can work it into whatever your belief system is, I think it's more powerful. I've said that. You don't need to be religious. What is essential, though, is a belief in a higher power, because that divinity within all of us is what heals all this stuff. So if you don't have that, you want to work towards that. But you don't need to be religious. You need to believe in a creator of all things, higher power, source with a capital S or whatever, because that faith, that unwavering faith, that knowing that the universe has a plan for us, that we cannot possibly imagine. Like we think we can picture, and I want this, and I want to travel, maybe have a beach house and the family and the kids and golden retriever and all this thing. The universe has something in store for us that's way bigger than we can possibly wrap our heads around. And we've got to know that, not just think it, but actually know. We just have to not question how or when.